cord to this computer. Can you all see my screen okay?
Yep.
Okay, I've done an entire webinar before and I wasn't showing my screen. And that I'm not going to do that ever again. This is really designed specifically for the smaller business. And there's a couple things that is a common trait with a lot of small business owners. They want to offer benefits, and many times they can't afford it. Or maybe they've looked at group health insurance and they're somewhat skeptical in offering a group health plan. And there's a lot of reasons why you might be. Health insurance costs continue to go up each year. And you have to ask yourself, is my business going to outpace the cost of health insurance? And that's a legit question for small business owners that are looking to keep their business up, running, and profitable. And they need good people, and they feel like they have to offer benefits. So we're given some alternative ways that you could offer benefits. Now is the best time to recruit people. Actually, not now, but in about 25 days will be the best time to recruit people. There could be effort and energy put towards it. And on the group health insurance side, what a lot of times business owners ask the question, do I have to offer a health plan? That's one of the most common questions. What does health insurance cost? That's another common question. And then what other alternatives do I have? And I'm going to touch on all three of those points. If you're a business that's fewer than 50, business that's fewer than 50 employees, you do not have to, by law, offer health insurance. So you are not required by law to offer health insurance. And there's a link here that specifically defines the difference between a small and large employer. Again, small employers are those with fewer than 50 employees. Large employers are employers that have more than 50 employees. So the law changes once you hit that threshold of 50 full-time eligible employees. So just keep that in mind as you're looking at your benefits and your recruiting. Welcome, Taryn. Glad to have you. I'm going to go back to this. Here's the question I often ask businesses as they look at health insurance. Maybe they're looking at a group health plan and they're thinking, can I afford to offer group health insurance to my people? A lot of times they don't even know what it costs. And when we look at this is a great article. It was put out by SHRM. It talks about health plan increases and the cost of a health plan. A lot of times when I share this with people, they're blown away by the cost. The total average employer cost right now is $13,360 per employee. $13,360. So if I have a business that has 10 employees, I could be potentially bringing on $133,000 of expense, assuming everybody takes the plan. So what I look at is that would be maybe something that you'd stomach and you'd bear and you just take on that expense as a business, especially if you knew that it was going to create happy employees that appreciate it and go to work and continue to run this machine that is your business. If you knew that you would get a return on that investment, you do it no problem. It would be something you justify it. You make that investment into your team. There are no guarantees. And then another thing that is also concerning, and I don't know if you've ever heard of what I call what is referred to as the rule of 72. If you're not familiar with the rule of 72, there's a link for the rule of 72 there. It is an investment principle. The rule of 72 is whatever your interest rate is, divided into 72, that's what your health, the time it will take your health insurance to double or your investment to double. So if I'm seeing a 9% increase on my health insurance, I'm seeing a 9% increase on my health insurance year over year, essentially that $13,000 premium that I'm paying in on a 9% return, it'll take me 8 years before that premium is now $26,000. So just think about that from a small business's perspective. And, for these businesses that are right now looking at ways that they could attract and retain employees, we're looking at this window, which we call the federal marketplace, is a great time for that employer to provide benefits. It's a great time for them to give an alternative way to their employees to provide benefits. And really, a lot of benefits comes from education. And when you look at group health plans, there are very few health plans today that are 100% funded by an employer. So when you think about that, every employee today in almost all situations has some skin in the game. And what you're doing is subjecting your small business to potentially an uncontrollable cost. And then the idea of that cost doubling based on the rule of 72. And I've had some businesses within this past year that are offering a group health plan experience a 40% increase to their group health plan. You just think about that cost to that small business. That means their premiums are going to double in 2 years if they kept that trend. So what we were looking at is alternative ways that we could offer benefits and really looking at leveraging the federal marketplace. What a lot of times the business owners don't know is that the marketplace is opening. It's not open yet. It is opening though. And it's going to be open from 11/1 to 12/15 for a 1/1 effective date. So if you're working with a client or if you're a small business owner and you don't offer any type of benefits and you want to attract and retain people, one of the things you could do is use this federal marketplace time as a time to onboard your people to benefits. Because if they don't have something in place, they're likely to leave. And so putting these benefits in place, even though it's not a group health plan, you're connecting the employee to a resource that maybe they're unaware of. And if you bring that to them through your business, the perception is you're offering a benefit. And so this is one of the ways that we're doing it. I want to share this with you, and we can design this for the business. So your logo here, we actually put the logo of the business on there. And for some of our broker partners, we can customize and design this for you and your agency. And then you can use this to help market to your small businesses. The fact that they can design marketplace benefits for their business. We're looking at this marketplace window, 11/1 to 12/15, as a way for that small business to attract and retain employees. And if you're unaware that fourth quarter in insurance and in general, with the holidays and everything, is just absolute craziness. So we have to help these business owners slow down and design something that's going to help position them for the year ahead so that they can win top level talent. And we're giving them a business template. This we use for our business clients we would customize it with the logo of the business. And again, for our agency partners, we could put where it says Colonial Life, we could swap out your logo and put that on there. I know I've gone through the maybe why not to offer group health insurance if you're a small business. And now we're transitioning to how you could offer benefits, maybe in an alternative way. Before I go to an example of how you could access marketplace benefits, any questions before I jump to that? We good?
Yep, I'm good.
All right. This is a link that was created. Again, everything links to the next page or the next informational piece. When I access my health insurance, this brings me to what is called Health Sherpa. Health Sherpa takes all of the health insurance plans, all of the providers, and it takes the information based on my zip code, and it pulls all of that information together for me by just simply taking a few pieces of information. I'm going to type in my zip code. I'm going to walk you through this. Now think about that small business. If I'm an employee of a company and it's on me. Think if we actually brought this to the small business, again, using their personalized landing page. We give them a logoed landing page that they can use to communicate benefits to their team. And then I can type in my zip code. I'm a 46-year-old male. I'm a non-tobacco user. I have a spouse. My spouse is 36. I have 2 children. I have one that's 2. He's not a tobacco user. That seems strange. Be awfully early. And then I'm going to hit continue. And for the sake of this, I'm going to put 65,000. Now look at this. Look at what this does. You see the power of this and how quick it was. I might save as much as $640 per month through the federal marketplace just because of my household of 4 and my household income. So the biggest driver of the tax credits in the federal marketplace is my income level and my household, the number of people in my household. Right now, and why we designed this is we don't think that there's too many businesses, if they're not offering a group health plan, they're not connecting the employee to this information. And so we wanted to make it easy for the employee to access this, to access information, and for us to help connect them to a resource if they have questions. Because the marketplace is not open, I can't actually enroll in my marketplace plan, but I could go even deeper into this and hit continue. And it's going to say to me, again, it's a special enrollment because the marketplace isn't open. Let's just say I'm losing health insurance and I hit continue. Now I have a particular doctor or pharmacy or hospital that I want to go to. See, people get attached to this. And sometimes when you put a group health plan in place, the biggest gripe from the employee when you're trying to do something good is you just move me into an insurance plan that I can't go see doctor whatever. And they're mad. And here you are in a business that has 10 employees spending $130,000 and they're pissed, upset. That was the exact opposite reaction that you were looking to gain from that employee by offering a group health plan. And the other thing that most people don't know is that when you're offering a group health plan and maybe somebody was exercising and realizing, again, I'll go back. Remember, I was receiving, based on my household income, everyone, $640 a month potential tax savings in my premiums, savings in my premiums. By offering a group health plan, and this is what a lot of small business owners don't realize, is they could be potentially negating that tax credit for that employee, or disrupting a plan. They could be negating the tax credit for that employee, or disrupting a plan that that employee had with their spouse. So what we've done is we've looked at ways, okay, let's look at the marketplace as the funding mechanism, the governmental plans as the funding mechanism towards the health plans for your employees. Because you think about it, in a group health plan, the employer is the heaviest funder of the plan. In this situation, my family of four is receiving $640 per month from the federal government for the cost of these plans. Again, it's an awareness thing. It's a communication thing. It's something that a lot of small business owners are not doing. And I look at it based on the time of the year. Insurance agents are busier than most times of the year, at the end of the year. And then when we mix in holidays and all kinds of craziness that comes with year end, it's easy for this to get swept under the rug. And so we want to make sure that we're bringing this to the attention of the small business owner so they can act on it when the marketplace opens. So I'm gonna go back. Any questions? I'm gonna jump out of Health Sherpa. Again, you have access to that link. You can access it. You can play around in it. There's nothing you can do to break it. I've tried. Nothing you can do to break it. But any questions on Health Sherpa before I move to the next part of this? Thought you might find this helpful. So what we do when we onboard a small business is we give them access to this link. We also give them the steps. I'm going to just highlight the steps briefly. Again, you saw me doing a few of those steps going into the marketplace and actually getting a quote. This is information that we can help walk the employees through and make sure that they're aware of what they need to do. So a lot of times when people don't know, they get scared or intimidated by the process. And what we look to do is bring it to their attention so that they could approach the marketplace with confidence and make their benefit election. And the nice thing about that from a small business owner perspective is we're getting into this, and up to this point, that small business owner has no money in the game. Again, they could be offering a group health plan, potentially negating those tax credits, spending a ton of money, and not necessarily knowing that they're going to get that same return on investment for that cash that they're spending on the group health plan. So we've built some alternative ways for a small business to design benefits plans. We give the employees access to federal marketplace benefits that they can access through this link. And then what we're seeing more and more employers do is actually fund plans that are going to help the employee with first dollar expense, like critical illness, accident, disability, dental. And instead of funding a group health plan, they're putting a fixed dollar amount towards the cost of these types of benefits. And then we're giving them resources and giving their employees resources on how to access those benefits through the federal marketplace. Again, the marketplace doesn't open until November 1st. But if we can create the awareness for these small business owners, and if you're a small business, if you knew that you had access to these benefits and you can help guide your employees to these options, it could potentially avoid a very sizable investment that you would be making in a group health plan. And then you could then take out those monies that you would have spent and allocate it to a fixed budget amount towards the cost of benefits. So instead of funding group health insurance, what we're proposing and helping you do is give the employee the option on the federal marketplace to buy health insurance, help them exercise those tax credits where appropriate, help them pick the doctor or physician that they want to see, help them customize that individual health plan to their needs. And then you as an employer, instead of funding the group health plan, are looking at other benefits that you're providing that are a fraction of the cost. Again, a group health plan costs on average right now a little over $13,000 at $50 a month. Now that business of 10 is spending $500 a month, and everybody has insurance. So what we wanted to do is design something that a small business owner could use and leverage to help them become employer B. So when I look at this, and I always close with this, is my favorite illustration. If I was hiring, I was placing an ad in a local newspaper and pay was the same, and you were applying, who are you going to work for all day, every day? Would you go to work at employer A or employer B? Nobody. Who would you work for?
B, all day.
All day. So what we do for the small business and for our broker partners is we help them become employer B. So you can go into the new year with confidence, knowing that you have a benefits package designed with the federal marketplace as your recruiting tool to onboard people between now and year end. Again, very few people are talking about this because of the timing of the year, and all we're doing each and every single week. So if you said, hey, you know what, I want to be on this call next week, or I'd like to, learn more about this, we're happy to connect you to a resource. What I'm going to do immediately following this, for those who attended this session, is forward out the webinar link so you could review it. Of course, if you have questions following this, feel free to ask those questions. Shoot me a message and say, hey, these are some questions that immediately pop to mind. But we really want to put a focus on helping these small business owners. These last 2 years have been just brutal. And in certain industries, it has been absolutely brutal for them with what the market's doing and what employees are doing as a result of what happened with COVID. I'm hearing stat at the end of last year that 5 million people found new jobs. So you think about that small business, and if they lose 1 or 2 people, it could devastate that small business. And right now, so many companies that we work with are without. They're not offering any type of benefit. So we wanted to use this webinar as a way to connect small business owners and our broker partners to benefits that you could be offered. So really appreciate. Is there any questions before we jump off? I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, or we can table them for a one-on-one conversation, but I'm happy to open it up to any questions you might have.
Pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah, great job, Jason.
sincerely appreciate you all jumping on. Thank you so much. And if there's questions that you have that you didn't ask at the end of this session, please shoot them to me, and I'll send a link out to you by the close of business today, just as a recap of this webinar. And if there's questions that you have as a result of that, please fire them my way. Have a great day, and thank you for your investment of time.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you.
See ya.